Yes, people, welcome back to the TG podcast. Guys, by the way, what are we saying about the new intro? Big up my guy Tom for making the new intro, people. I've seen the lads backstage, they were vibing to it, proper going all the dance moves and everything, yeah? So big up the chat as well, everyone who enjoyed the new intro, man. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Make sure you check out Tom's Instagram. I'll shout him out towards the end, man. Lit intro, but we're back again. TG podcast. We're going to do a lot tonight, obviously, because we didn't do it last week. We're going to do a keep or sell tier list, going through every single Arsenal player, basically keeping or selling them. And then also towards the end, we're talking about the summer transfer targets in the summer window. Let's introduce the panel today, you guys. He's been on the channel before. You guys may recognize him. Great to have him back. We've got my guy Lee from Gooner Gathering. Lee, how you doing, mate? You all good?
Hello, guys. Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Really pleased to be here. Pleased to be representing Gooner Gathering as well. Yeah, this has been long in the wings, so I've been waiting to do this for a long time. So, yeah, great to see you. What an intro that was, by the way. Incredible work. Brilliant. Love that.
Big up, man. No, really appreciate the kind words there, man. And guys, we are live on Lee's channel as well, because we are multi-streaming as well. So big up everyone from Gooner Gathering as well tuning in. Make sure you start to Gooner Gathering and leave your comments about. Love to hear you guys' opinions on the tier list we're going to do, and also the summer transfer targets. Let's get my guy. He hasn't been on the pod for about 2 weeks because he's obviously been going through quite a bit with himself in terms of he's had an operation, but you know he's recovering well and he's back again. We've got Dom. Dom, what are you saying, man? You all good?
Yeah, all good, mate. I've learned I'm no longer 20 and I can't play football like I used to be able to. Hence the shoulder surgery, but I'm all right now.
No, big up, man. And obviously, I'm glad. Obviously, you've recovered well from that, bro. And yeah, great to have you back on here as well, man.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, big up yourself. And also, we got the regulars. We got my guy Seb. Seb, how you doing, mate? You all good?
Yeah, all right, thank you. Yeah, of course. It's been a very, very horrible last 2 weeks for me. Where I'm not gonna lie, I've lost my smile a little bit because of how the title got robbed away from us in that manner. But pleased to be back on the show, and yeah, thanks for having me again, and great new intro. But yeah,
thank you, man.
Must admit, I'm still struggling a little bit.
Same, yeah. Same.
Should have said, Josh. Intros is really good, really good. Should have said.
Appreciate that, guys. Thank you, really appreciate that. We've got Rory as well, as always. Rory, what are you saying, man? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. That soundtrack is hard, by the way. Couldn't stop vibing to it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up. Appreciate it, lads. It's all Tom, man. If Tom's in the chat, I don't know. I think it's his birthday yesterday, wasn't it? So obviously wish him happy birthday from yesterday. But if he's in the chat, big up for the intro, man. Really, really do appreciate that. But yeah, guys, let's get into it. I want to quickly, obviously, get you guys' thoughts on, and I'm going to start with Lee because obviously he's making his debut on this podcast. So I want to quickly get your thoughts, Lee, on that season with Arsenal. How would you rate it, and what's your overall thoughts and assessment of Arsenal seasons? Of course, just gone.
So look, I'm of the view that I can see a progression. I can see us making it. We made a big improvement from last season to this. Look, I can understand Sebastian saying, look, we're saying, like it's a bit of a disappointment how it ended, right? And I get you. However, I hear shouting from somewhere. Anyhow, look, what I will say is that we have broken some records over this season. In points, wins. There's a lot of things to be very positive about. Yes, we didn't quite get the title over the line. It's not to say that the next time we can't finish the job. That's what I'm looking for. And with a decent transfer window, I think anything is possible.
Yeah, no, very well said, and I have to, agree there. I feel definitely there's been progression, because I said it, like, we saw Arsenal last season, Lee, with how he was, we was in the title race, but we was 8 points clear, and that drop off towards the end, was really disappointing. But then you compare it to this season, and we went to the wire. We
Literally
went
to the last day.
To the last day of the season, exactly. And I get there's games we're going to look back on and feel disappointed that if buts and maybes, if only we beat Villa here, if only we beat Villa there, Fulham and West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Definitely, and I think as you said, and obviously we're touching it towards the end about the transfer window. If we get the transfer window right, we can definitely go, very far next season, I believe. But I want to come to Dom. Dom, obviously, what's been your overall assessment of that season just gone? Of course, we finished runners up again, but are you in the same boat with Lee? I mean, in terms of the progression with this Arsenal side?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Lee pretty much said how I feel. I think you can't deem it success because we walked away without a trophy. However, you conceded progression. It was a season I thought we'd have. I think to manage the Champions League and the league is a big step up from the year before, where it was Europa League and the league. I think you could see the control in the game. I spoke about it the first time I was on, and I'm talking about it now. I think that's how you win a league. I was asked 10 weeks out whether Liverpool were going to go. I said no. It was very similar to Arsenal the season before. There was no control in games, and that is ultimately going to cost you. This year we had control in games. You could see it. It was clunky at first half of the season, very clunky. That's where we dropped our points. As we sort of tried to adapt to that, Declan Rice tried to settle in. The Havertz experiment in midfield didn't work. I think that's something we need to address this summer. But he definitely did up top. He did a better job than anyone expected. But I think you could see all those signs, and I think that really, really bodes well. For next season and beyond. I think we can win something next season, but I certainly think that Arsenal are the next big Premier League force, and I genuinely believe that. I didn't believe it over Spurs when people were saying this about Spurs. I didn't believe it over Liverpool and Klopp, well as he's done. But I think Man City are about to go into a transition, and I think we are ready to capitalise. So, while disappointed, I'm very, very positive for the upcoming years.
Yeah, facts, bro. And obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard the news about Pep. Possibly next season is his last season, and he will be gone. So yeah, exactly, Dom. Fingers crossed.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and because
just be a bit careful with that.
Yeah, just because
pinch of salt and all that.
I'm not saying for another 5 years, but obviously I know Rory and Seb.
It's silly season on these things, right? Same with the transfers. Who's coming in, who's coming out. You've got to be very careful. Lee's right.
Yeah, very true. But Rory and Seb, I know also you guys gave your thoughts on the season last week, but I want to ask you, obviously, guys. I'll come to you first, Seb. United winning that FA Cup, man. Obviously, beating Man City in the final. Would that be the only sort of negative you pick out from this season, Seb, with Arsenal, is that we didn't win and we didn't go far in the other cup competitions?
Well, yes, you'd have to say that, definitely. The FA Cup, I don't actually think we tried to throw that away because we did actually have a strong team out that day, but it was when we were in that bad patch in December where we were struggling to find the net. Then the exact problem happened in that game. Whilst if we could have found the net when we win that game, but yeah, the West Ham Carabao Cup game that was very disappointing. I was there that game, and I think the thing is that shows that the depth isn't here yet. And what also got me about that game is that we waited until we were 3-0 down before we subbed all our good players on. I thought that was not right. We should not have done that. You should have done it earlier when the game was actually only 1-0 and still in the balance. Then we could have actually done something like that. So that was poor. Champions League, I think it's a decent campaign, but I thought our Bayern team was there for the taking. We should have gone through, and it was more our mistakes in the first leg. Silly mistakes in the first leg that cost us that. So, and then who knows what could have happened in the semi-finals or even the final. But yeah, there were some mistakes in that. And this is why we need a bigger squad in the summer, because we need to be going on all fronts. We can't just be ignoring all these other domestic cups and just putting all our eggs in the Premier League. And it's going to be crucial we do that this season, because I really do want us to win a trophy. I'm sick and tired of all these rival fans winning trophies and then always bringing our name into it. I'm sick and tired of it. It does my head in. So that's got to change, and also the Champions League, because it's going to be a new format this season, a much harder format where literally we're going to be playing eight games, so that's more matches plus a potential playoff round if we're ranked between 9th and 24th. So that's even more matches. So,
and you can play against like Bayern Munich and Madrid as well, because we're in pot 2.
It's two. You can play any two. It's 2 teams per pot. You play 2 teams, one at home, one away. So it's even harder. So this is why we need to strengthen the squad, and also, you know how difficult it is to win a title when you're up against them. So again, you need a bigger squad, because what worries me going into next season, and yes, it's all good people saying, "Oh, we'll win it next year. Oh, you're the next 10," but you don't know how next season's going to plan until it starts. Because what worries me is, what if there's key injuries? Because that could easily happen. Because it happened most other seasons, bar last season, especially in the running. What if we do drop off? What if another team from somewhere that we're not expecting to merges? See, all these things are real possibility, and this does worry me. And this is also why I was really, really, really annoyed last week about missing out on the title in that way. I was really annoyed, and I'm still not over this now. I probably know I should be, but. And I'm not going to lie, the game at the FA Cup game at the weekend made it a whole lot worse, because 2 reasons. First, why couldn't City perform like that in one-off game? Why? And then people keep saying, "Oh, they're tired." Well, they weren't tired last year when they went on to win the FA Cup and a treble last year. Weren't tired then.
I think they were complacent in that game. I think they were really complacent. They didn't warm up properly. They thought they were going to roll over United, and they didn't.
Why couldn't they have been complacent in all those other games when they played easy opponents like Fulham, West Ham, and
they did play easy opponents. Has anyone seen United play this season? I don't know where that performance came from.
It's a cup final. Anything's possible in the cup final.
Well, exactly. Anything's possible. One poor performance, you're out of the cup.
Yeah, it's a one-off game. It's a one-off game. Anything's possible. Form goes out the window, especially in a cup final. You could have a team come out from somewhere and still turn it on in the final. It's always a tough game. But yeah, you can see I'm still. You can tell I'm still deflated. I'm still deflated. I mean, even talking about it. And yeah, I think it was the cups that where Arteta did get it wrong quite a bit, but
totally get that, and I totally accept what you're saying there. I think with the cup competition, certainly in the FA Cup for certain, that we got a very tough draw. There's no doubt about it, and when you don't potentially have the rub of the green in terms of a decent draw as well, we got Liverpool, didn't we? And
but they were beatable that day. It's because
they
weren't that great.
And we potentially we didn't maybe live up to our expectations on that night, but that's what cup competition's all about. Unfortunately, it's I see things in the chat. I see my guy AFC always saying that no such thing as domestic cups under Arteta. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he went for it, but unfortunately, it doesn't always go in your favour. I mean, look, Mikel has won it once. And yes, of course, when you want to look at a season, and you're going to be judged on what you win and what you don't win, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you will, because that's the aim now of elite sport is what's in your what have you collected? And that's all other rival fans will definitely say. Oh, what's Arteta won? What's he done? What's all this? That's all you ever hear. And the fact is, we're doing really well, and I can see the progress. But I really want always to count for something. I do not want this to be wasted, and then we don't. Then we have to transition the squad and all that. I just don't want it to come to that, because I do not want us to be what Tottenham were under Poch when. They're actually going places and got them to new levels, but he didn't win anything. I don't want us to be that, because
I think it feels very different to that Tottenham side, right? Under Poch, they got to this point, and the league was a lot weaker, but that was irrelevant. What Tottenham did was stop backing the manager, and they allowed that squad to drift and stagnate. I don't see any evidence of that happening under the Kroenkes and Arteta and Edu. I think that will keep going forward. I think there will be some turnover this summer. But I think that will keep going. The challenge is rightly, we do need to win the trophies. I think it's coming. 100%. I can see exactly what's happening, and I've been saying it. I've been saying it ever since we were bottom of the league 3 games in a few years back, that I could see what we were trying to do and where we were trying to go. I got it.
I reckon the case was getting worse.
To you, mate.
Yeah, and the thing, and what we're going to say, the thing is it's all good hearing these news about Pep's going to go probably next season. It's all good hearing that.
You still got to beat him, like whether he's here or not.
I want to
win the league with Pep.
I want to win the league before he goes. I want to do it with him in this league. I don't want to just start to do it after. I don't want to wait until he's gone and then do it. I don't want that. I want us to do it.
Or else they're not going to come up with the excuse of, but Pep's left the league.
Exactly. That's all you will hear. Exactly.
At this point, we just can't win, can we?
No, you can. You never can. You just can't.
Rory,
I can give a monkey's what they say. To be honest, it makes no odds to me.
What do you make, Rory, of this? Of people saying United have had a better season enough because they won the trophy? What do you make?
It winds me up, but it's hard to disagree, because yes, they finished 8th and they've picked up some poor results, but trophies define success. That's the way I look at it. And look, I know when we finished 8th under Arteta,
we never heard this narrative then. No one said a word, and this is all we've been hearing all throughout the weekend from this media and other rival fans saying, "Oh, this is all we've been hearing." People were never saying that about us back in 2020 when we won the FA Cup, or even back in 2017 when we won the FA Cup and finished 5th. No one ever said this. All they kept saying is that, it only does is paper over the crowd. An FA Cup is nothing to gloat about. Now all of a sudden, we're not winning it. It's suddenly the best thing since a slice of bread. Now come on, what is it? What is it?
I wouldn't swap our position for Man United.
No, you wouldn't.
And pushing in 8th.
You certainly wouldn't swap their. You certainly wouldn't swap their squad for ours. And I said this for the last few months. Not one of their players gets in our team. I've said this for the last couple of months. And
the thing is, they've had a better season. It's hard to admit, but they have.
Yeah, but why has this suddenly been brought up now?
Well, yeah, I know. That's not really
brought up now. This debate.
Man United fans on Twitter.
They're still looking to sack their manager. So they're still looking to sack their manager, just like we were still looking to sack ours in 2017 when Wenger won it. We were still talking about that, and that's all the media were focusing on. So which is it?
Yeah, look, I don't think Man United will kick on after that FA Cup.
No, they won't.
I really don't.
They won't. They'll stand still.
There's no way they're more indoctrinated than Arsenal.
No,
there's no way.
Play, they deserved that cup. Fair play. They deserved it. But all it does is paper over enormous cracks.
Yeah, but I reckon they still have had a better season, because I look at trophies. That is the aim of elite sport.
Yeah, I know. I've said
how much it pains me to say it. Trophies is what I judge a football club.
Yeah, but I bet they still can't fix the roof, though.
Yeah, true.
That's all I've been hearing.
They could use the ribbons to patch up that leak.
Lee wants to say something.
Thank you.
Yeah, go on.
I don't want to jump in on any of this. I get the point that you're all saying here, right? About picking up the trophy, and fair play to United. I'll say that now. That on the day they deserved it absolutely, and big up to Russ, who's one of my guys who's jumped in. So welcome in. But in terms of the league and the position where we're actually at, the league is all about a marathon, not a sprint, right? The league is all about consistency, and I wouldn't change. Well, I suppose the only thing I'd change about our league position is just moving up that one slot, and that comes points, right?
For the lot.
Look, where we're at second on the last day of the season, I wouldn't swap that for picking up the FA Cup. I wouldn't, because the FA Cup perhaps is over. Cup football is very different to league football. Is what I'm trying to spit out here. And much respect for United, and that you'd probably say that's an added bonus in terms of league form. What they've actually achieved is not very great for United standards. You wouldn't say. I mean, I speak to a lot of United fans, and they're obviously not happy with how their team have gone down. That standards have dropped, if you like, and that's just what happens over this sort of time. But look, I think we're going to be in a better position next time, because I think we were operating as Arsenal in a very much how can I say it? Very much a smaller kind of a squad compared to City, and that's how you've got to compare to everybody. So I'll give you a brief example, and I'll hand it back to whoever wants to take it. So if Foden gets injured for City, who will come in for them? It'll probably be Grealish, right? And that's one international for another. If we have a big injury issue for some, say Saka picks up a big injury, who comes into him? Does that player, whoever comes in on that side, does he equate to the standard of Saka? That's the big argument, and perhaps that's something we can solve over the summer. We might be in a better position to do something about that over this transfer window.
But Man City still have that sort of problem, because say if they lose Rodri, who do they have?
Rodri's the only guy. Everyone else is all replaced.
Yeah, but Rory, did you see that bench against United in the FA Cup final?
Yeah,
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, bro, it's absolutely stacked. Like they had game changers. Like that's something we haven't got on our bench.
Alvarez hasn't really had the best of seasons, has he?
He hasn't, but he's still like. But would you take him at Arsenal?
No.
You wouldn't.
Nah, I don't think he's an out-and-out striker.
You not rate him?
I do, but
I think he's a great striker.
Nah.
Given the game time, I think he get all shine, but because he plays second fiddle to Haaland, I think it's very difficult for him.
I think he has the potential to be a great striker. I don't think you can say he's a great striker right now. I think Arsenal.
Yeah, potential. Yes, absolutely right.
I think Arsenal are moving towards that stage. I think, look, we have to win trophies. I think those trophies have to come relatively soon. I'm okay with the timeline. I think the timeline is around about where I was expecting it to be. It might not be popular, but it's what I was expecting it to be. But we are now in the what we say in the NFL, which is my other big sort of sporting love. We're in the win now window, right? It started for me this year. We're in the win now window, so we now need to start delivering on that. However, like I said, I'm quite comfortable and confident that those trophies are coming. I don't worry about the what ifs. I think people say you've had no injuries this year. Well, Thomas Partey's barely played this year. Jurien Timber literally didn't play this year.
We get some during the run.
Jesus, Martinelli, and others.
We've had some during the running over the years.
Yeah, exactly. And look, it happens. It's part of sport, but I think that squad is getting to the point now where it can cope. I think if we'd had, the Saliba and Tomiyasu injuries this year, I don't think we'd have done the 15 out of 17, but I think we'd have gone a heck of a lot better than we did last year. And I think that sort of speaks to how we've moved things forward. I think we need more to do to close that gap. But I also think City is starting to come down a little bit now. You know, Edison, De Bruyne, Walker, all starting to get into that window now where they're going to need to start changing and they're going to need to start going into the transition themselves. We are transitioning, but in a positive way. Because I think we've already started to go through that. We're now adding to what is a strong base. They're going to have to sort of replace some of their starters. I think all of this sort of points to things are going in the right direction. But the manager does have to now start to deliver. That is clear. And I have backed Arteta, like I said, from when we were bottom in August and everyone was taking the piss. But Lee, you made a point earlier, just very quickly, about the cup. Do Manchester United deserve the cup? No, I think they got lucky against Manchester United. I think they got lucky against Coventry City.
Yeah,
that's cup football. Did Arsenal deserve the trophy under Arteta in that first, not his first full season, but in his first season? Probably not. Were we the best side? No, we weren't. But that's cup football. Yeah. On the day in the cup final, they deserved it 100%, no question. Man City were terrible.
Yeah.
But and they deserved it on the day. But they weren't the best side, not by a long shot. But that's cup football, and therefore, I think you're right, Rory. They have had the better season because they've got the trophy, but I would not swap their position for us right now.
No chance.
Serious amount of work to do.
The thing is,
I know trophies is the aim, but still, it's about kicking on from there.
They won't kick on from that. So
say if they sack Ten Hag, which will be a stupid decision, like when you're thinking about it.
I'm not sure it is actually.
Yeah, I don't see them progressing after that. I really don't.
No.
Very well said, guys. You made some great points there. Look, I want to move on to the tier list people. We're doing I'm gonna go through the Arsenal squad because obviously we're building up for the new season. I'm gonna go keep or sell or loan. So yeah, let's get into this. Make sure you chat as well. You tune in, leave your thoughts on it as well. If you disagree with any, leave your thoughts on it as well. So guys, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
It'll get there in a minute. There it is.
Jesus, how many players have you got on them?
Right. So there's a few players who like transfer targets which have got a bit mixed rounds. I did this before and it's got mixed up.
Rory, what time are we streaming to? Because
there's only about 10 transfer targets, and then there's like an Arsenal.
Can be off? Wow, you've been busy.
All right.
I don't know you added transfer targets on there.
Let's get
interesting.
Let's get into it. I'm gonna start with El Neni, guys.
What's the point? He's gone.
So, yeah, he's going.
What's the point? He's gone.
He's going.
Full on signing just for Seb. £100,000 a week just for Seb.
No.
Yeah, he's gone anyway.
He's gone.
I know. I just love winding you up.
You won't be tonight.
Right. I want to start. All right. Let's go with. I'll start with Carl Hein, guys. Our third choice goalkeeper. I would loan him personally.
Because if Ramsdale leaves,
loan.
No.
Yeah, because if Ramsdale leaves, we're kind of like gonna need him.
Look, we've got a lot to do this window. Bringing in first-team players, moving on first-team players. There's only a limited amount of resources. Carl Hein is someone that knows the system, knows how we train, knows the squad, knows Raya. He's got to be a sign. He's a third-choice goalkeeper. The chance of him playing a very limited sign. Just get it done. Move on.
Sign?
Well, he's out of contract, isn't he?
Oh
yeah. So
is he? So he'll be leaving as well.
Yeah.
No, that's Arthur Conquo. It's not Carl Hein.
Yeah, Carl Hein is as well, I believe, out of contract.
No, it's Arthur Conquo.
Either way, you keep him.
I didn't hear Carl Hein.
Whether it is or isn't, keep him. Keep him anyway. Whichever one it is, keep him.
Yeah, because if we let go of Ramsdale, we don't sign a backup goalkeeper, we may need him. But
would you guys feel comfortable with him?
He looked, man. I ain't gonna lie, he's young. I'm not gonna go too harsh on him, but
would you guys be comfortable with him as a backup?
No.
Not really. Not yet.
I don't think it will be.
Doesn't mean he can't. It doesn't mean he can't.
That's why I loan him then.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Just not yet. Yeah.
So what I've got to say about Cole Hine is he's not had first team football like anywhere really. So for the best thing for his career is probably a loan move, but that very much depends on what else happens. So we'll probably get up to Ramsdale in a bit, and it's very clear that there's one other one. I mean, this addressed the obvious. Raya, obviously, that needs to be a permanent deal and needs to be signed in as soon as possible.
It will be.
I would hope so. I would imagine that is already sort of tied up and ready to go.
Yeah,
it's just a case of announcing it, is what I'm thinking.
That's it.
Yeah.
Really quickly, Carl Hines' contract does end at the end of next month.
Does it?
I think you're right, Lee, but for his career, it's probably best he goes out on loan and gets some football.
We need to just extend the contract then loan. Yeah, extend then loan.
Who's your third team goalkeeper then? Then you got to bring in 2 goalkeepers this summer.
You need the first and backup. You don't need 3.
Yes, you do. What happens if
someone's not going to play?
Definitely.
Yes, but every team has a third choice goalkeeper. You need a third choice goalkeeper.
100%.
Okay, then Carl Hine third choice. So. The Concro's going. He's off.
All right. Let's go to Ramsdale then, guys. Obviously, he's getting sold. Obviously.
So
yeah, I feel bad for him. But so for his own sake, he should find the exit door because he's just not going to play, is he?
Judge, what are you doing though? If we get 20 million and that's the best we get for him, what are you doing in that scenario? I agree. I think he needs to move on for him and the club. We need to raise some finances. I love Ramsdale, but
no, we need to play hardball. We've got him tied up to a contract. Play hardball. Go 25, 30 or not.
Yeah, 15 million.
We keep him as second choice.
15 million is a piss take.
No.
How much do you pay for him? We pay 30. We pay
24 million.
You pay 24 for him. 24 million. No, he got reduced down to 24 because he wanted to go. He got reduced down, so I take 25 plus, but no less than that. Otherwise, we keep him as second choice.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Look, don't take everything you're hearing out of media speculation at face value. Ramsdale certainly has to move with a profit. Makes sense to me in terms of his career, his international career as well. Let's not forget, because he's been picked for the Euros. He probably needs to go. He probably needs to play some games. It's unfortunate for him. I want to give Raya credit because he's been fantastic for Arsenal. There's a lot of big debate about the Raya Ramsdale situation. I've been, much like my broadcast partner, give him a shout out. Posh Bertu, who's also in the chat. I've very much been in terms of in the Raya camp. Different quality of goalkeeper, different levels in terms of distribution, dealing with back passes. I was very much in the case of they're very, very similar in terms of their handling. But for me, Ramsdale, I'm afraid you do have to go for the sake of your career, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree, Lee. I mean, like you, I don't necessarily buy the 15 point plus 3 or whatever it was. I think that's media stuff. But also, even if it is true, it's obviously a starting offer, right? It's a starting position, and things will move on those. So I don't buy very much into that. I was merely saying if you're in that scenario, then I think you look at a loan or you keep, right? But for Ramsdale, he has to go. You're absolutely right. He's a Premier League starting goalkeeper,
100%.
And we need to generate some money, right?
Yeah, definitely. We can't just be giving people away. Money's got to be coming in, and we got some sellable assets there because we've got to be generating money and playing hardball on this because we can't keep. We're past that stage now.
Yeah.
We've got to get Mo back on that contract, Seth.
No, we don't.
Yeah, definitely.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, he doesn't.
Every time.
So, guys,
I'm just really quickly, sorry, really quickly on Mo Elneny. Let's give a bit of respect to the guy's name because he's probably, I think, he's the
go on.
longest,
Yeah, go on.
longest longevity in the Arsenal squad. Of course, the last of the Wenger squad. And one thing I will say about him, might not be the most spectacular midfield player you've ever seen in your life, but he's not one to ever complain, moan, and whinge about the fact that he's not been playing or whatever. So fair play to him. I hope he gets a decent move for himself. And big up to whatever. One thing he has been doing over the certain last 2 years is getting involved in the academy kids and helping Jack Wilshere out in terms of doing some training and all that sort of stuff behind the scenes, stuff that doesn't often get talked about. Big up to Mo for helping Jack out and doing what he's doing over the under-21s.
I agree entirely, Lee. I think you're spot on there. I think he's been a good pro. He's what I call a 6 out of 10 player. He rarely gives you less, and he understands his place and role in the squad. And I think behind the scenes, I think he's been part of that, getting people in. But it's time to move on, no question. But I think you are right.
But Dom, if we want to be going for titles, we need better.
Yeah, of course.
I want to win the league.
my days.
I want to win the league now. I don't want things like this now.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm winding you up with it, because it's good fun. But I mean, Lee is right. I think to say that he's been god awful and he's played his role, but the squad has moved way beyond him. No question.
Yeah.
I mean, that performance against Man United.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Well said, guys.
Who's next? Josh?
Oh, was he frozen again?
Yeah, go on, Marie. Wait, what was you saying, bro?
Okay.
Oh no, I was just saying about Elneny's performance away at Old Trafford. I think that's arguably his best performance of his Arsenal career. And obviously he scored that goal against Barcelona, which everyone's raving on about. But at the end of the day, it got us knocked out, so it didn't really. Yeah, it's not really a memorable moment, is it? So it was a great goal, and he played really well away at Old Trafford as well. So yeah, I don't really have any problems with Elneny, but yeah, I felt like he should have left 3 or 4 years ago.
That's
after when he went on loan.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I think we had bigger problems to move on first, but I mean, he's not. And I got why he stayed around. Probably 2 years ago was the time, right? But I got why he was there, because he's not going to rock the boat. So you get rid of the ones that do more, and he accepts he plays 1 in 6, 1 in 7, 1 in 8.
Yeah, I couldn't get over the fact he had. I couldn't get over the fact he had Vieira's iconic number 4 number at one point.
Oh, what was all that about?
I assume that was
I thought the squad numbers, guys, they're not that important, really.
No, I agree.
Eddie's got 14. Eddie's got 14. I'm sorry, that's terrible. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's the legendary squad number of one Martin Keown. Come on,
Eddie got 14. Sorry, he's not been given that.
And then he's had 4. Oh
yeah,
my
exactly.
Eddie McGoldrick wore 14 for a while. Christ alive.
What? Eddie McGoldrick, club legend. I don't care what number they care. Well, I really don't. Lee, I'm with you on that, mate. No interest.
Exactly. I say it with a smile and a laugh on my face, but
guys, let's go to
Okay, yeah.
Let's go to Eddie Nketiah, guys. Yeah, number 40.
Sell.
Come on, that's an easy decision.
Cannot wait until this fairy tale is over.
This time
I've never rated him.
Not good enough.
Please just retire that number 14
yes,
shirt.
Jordan
You just don't know what to do with it.
Yes, Dom, Jordan Ayew is better.
Jordan Ayew is not a better striker than Eddie Nketiah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is.
come on.
Yes,
But
he
it's
is.
time for Eddie Nketiah to go.
Yes, he is.
Well, he's not on any metric you choose to measure against. Statistically, the eye test, you name it. But it is time for Eddie Nketiah to be sold. Now is the time. You know,
Eddie's
and
not
also,
scored more than 5 goals in his career, by the way.
Exactly.
Well, a
goals to me-
season, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
He's still goals to season better than Jordan Ayew, but goals per minute, by the way. But yeah, look, Eddie Nketiah is trying to move on. Plus, homegrown, it's pure profit. I know that people don't like that, but that's good for the books. Eddie Nketiah, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, then get some money and then happy days.
I'll
He should
say
be playing at Ipswich next season. He'll be a good Premier League player there.
Yeah.
Reckon.
Lee's going to come in, but Brentford.
Yeah, he'll do all right at Brentford. Still
Yeah.
won't get in the team, though.
if we can replace Nketiah with, I don't know, someone like Ivan Toney, I'd be quite happy with that. Listen, I've been very much on record on my channel singing the praises of Eddie Nketiah. It's almost like a bit, if you like. But in all seriousness, yeah, for Arsenal moving up the levels and again for the lad moving up in his career, he needs to be playing football, doesn't he? I've heard a lot of things about Crystal Palace. I've heard a lot of things about Ipswich for Eddie. That might work well for him as long as we get someone to replace him. I'm fine with that. That's basically what the new contract was all about, wasn't it? It was all about. It was all about him extending the deal for a little while, and him not going on a free transfer. That's how I see it. So, look, best wishes, Eddie. You know I love you, and you know if I could, I'd put your number on my back and all that. But in all fairness, and taking a step back from the bit that I do on Gooner Gathering, look, for Arsenal to move forward, Nketiah, yeah, of course, will be one to move forward and away from the club, and potentially someone like I don't know, maybe an Isak. Maybe that's the one I would like to go for. But we'll see.
Lee, I agree. I think, look, Eddie Nketiah, it was all about protecting value. Reece Nelson contract last year, very similar.
Exactly, yeah.
And also Arsenal again. I come back to it, had bigger problems than Eddie Nketiah, and that's why part of why he stayed in and around the squad. The time has now come where we fix a lot of other areas, and now it's Eddie Nketiah's turn to move on because that's where we've got to, and the squad has gone past him, and that's why it's held this summer. But I understood why he got the new contract. I understood why he's kept around. You can't get rid of Balogun and Nketiah at the same time, and it protects the value, and Arsenal will reap the rewards from that decision.
This has started off well, hasn't it? One loan, 3 sells.
Should we do William Saliba next?
Yeah, I mean, I want to move to Smith Rowe, guys. What do you do?
I said this is a tough one.
What do you do with Smith Rowe, man?
Because I really do like him, but I think maybe time might be up for him.
The thing is, right? If we, I know we'll get on to Vieira later on, but say if we sell Vieira and then Smith Rowe, we'll only have Odegaard in that position.
Yeah, true.
So do you reckon it'll be a smarter move to keep Smith Rowe?
Yeah, I want one, but not the other. I agree with Rory there.
I reckon we should be selling one of Vieira or Smith Rowe.
Yeah, one of them should go. Yeah.
I think this comes down to market and where the players are, right? So I'm a big Smith Rowe fan, massive Smith Rowe fan, but I think he needs to be, and Lee probably will agree with me here based on the points he made about other players earlier. He's another lad that needs to be playing football. I think, he probably could and should have been starting in that number 8 bit more this season than he was. I think Smith Rowe will have a market this summer. I'm not sure Fabio Vieira does, but I think we also need to be careful here about the squad turnover. There is only a finite amount of resources as Edu and his team have, and you move too many over, you risk that squad harmony in jeopardy. So if there's a way that Smith Rowe can stay around for a year, I think you absolutely do that. I think he's a good enough player for Arsenal. I think reality will be he will be sold and Vieira will be retained because of the market. On a personal level, I would love to see Emil Smith Rowe stay and get minutes, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he will be sold.
I'd say with the Emil Smith Rowe one, it's difficult. I like to see him stay at the club. There's a few things here. He's a Hale End boy and all that sort of stuff, and the ability of course is not deniable, but he does pick up a lot of injuries. And that's the reason why he's not featured, unfortunately.
I think he's been far less injury-free in the last injury-prone in the last 18 months or so since that op. He's had the odd little niggle here and there, but they've been short-term, 1-2 week sort of things. But I think you're undoubtedly right, it has hindered him. I think what he does have is something that no one else in the squad really has, that ability to burst into the box with that deft touch late. I don't necessarily think anyone else has that, and I think that does need replacing if he goes. But like I said, I think he's just going. I think that's going to be reality, whether I want it or not.
Yeah,
it'll be sad to see him go because I do like him.
I'll keep him for one more season.
So where should you put him, guys? Keep yourself.
Put him in keep, actually.
Yeah, I'll keep him for one more season though.
Ideal world, you keep him, but I don't think he will. But
I reckon he will go, but I'll keep him for now.
Yeah, so put him in keep.
Because we need to get rid of one of Smith Rowe or Vieira. If we get rid of both, then
all right.
If we do get rid of both, there's certainly going to have to be at least two to come in.
Oh, definitely.
In terms of that midfield position, yeah, absolutely.
And I do worry about the amount of stuff we're trying to do in one summer. I really genuinely do.
With financial fair play as well, absolutely. That's the difficulty, isn't it?
But also just in terms of the amount of effort and time that goes into a transfer being done, trying to get all of these things done is a genuine concern for me. It's not popular, but I think it's reality.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Smith Rowe, then we're keeping. Ideal world.
Yeah. Let's go Reece Nelson, man. What do we do with Reece Nelson? Is it time for him to move on now?
Time to go. I like him, but again, time to go. Time to move on.
He's been here for far too long. We signed him for a new deal.
Yeah.
And he's just... Is he here for work experience or what?
The new deal was about protecting the value. Lee and I touched on it earlier.
I kind of feel bad for him because we signed him for a new deal and now he's just not playing. I think he's had good games throughout the season, but he's hardly played. So you've got to move him on.
Yeah. So here's the thing with Reece. Last season, he got the award for being perhaps the most valuable substitute, if you like, someone to change the game. And the best example of that, of course, is the Bournemouth game.
That was the cherries on the top, wasn't it?
It was the cherry on top of the cake, of course. But
sorry, that was a dreadful pun, Lee. Apologies.
I love it. I'm all about that, mate. Don't worry about it. But look, for Reece, I can't even place him playing 90 minutes. Can you guys?
No.
He might have got. Did he play against Luton? Perhaps. But
he didn't really impress, did he?
No. But look, for me, sorry, Reece. Again, another one for your career. Yeah, you have to move on, and this is a case of Arsenal moving a little bit further forward in where we are trying to be, trying to get up to that high level. as opposed to being that level. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, 100% agree. You know, someone like a Brighton or, you know, Southampton, someone like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I know there's a bit of a gap between the two, but
Yeah.
you know, that's his level, and I think there'll be a market for him. To be honest, you know, which might not be the case with some of these others we come on to, but I think there will be a market for Reece Nelson, and some of the other players are way better than Reece Nelson, but I think there'll be a market for Reece Nelson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go to Fabio Vieira, man. We paid, I think, 35 mil for the guy from Porto, and he started off the season pretty well, and then we haven't really seen him since. What do we do with this guy, man?
I move him on. Sell.
I don't think there's a market for
Another
him. I
one.
think you loan.
Yeah, I'd rather keep, like Rory said, I'd rather keep Smith Rowe and sell Vieira, because Vieira's had a couple of good games, but apart from that, I don't really see what really he brings to this team. And we did pay a lot of money for him, so we do expect more. And I just don't think he's ever going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I move him on.
He's figured in Prison Break more than he's made appearances for Arsenal. That's just that's staggering.
Teabag,
yeah.
Teabag from Prison Break.
Yeah, I mean, other than the goal he scored against Brentford last season or the season before, yeah, he's done nothing, has he? He got sent off against Burnley, and now he's been just dropped, hasn't he?
The big
Let's
question is,
not forget the very important penalty that he scored again in the Community Shield against Manchester City in August. Let's leave the memories alone on that one.
The thing is, I can't figure out whether he's a number 10 or if he's a right winger.
He's not a right winger, that's for sure. He's a number 10.
Yeah.
Definitely not a right winger.
But for some reason, we decided to play him down on the right. Like, why?
I think it speaks to the lack of depth on the right. But I mean, with Fabio Vieira, where's the market for him? I don't think there is one, and that's why I have a horrible feeling he'll be retained and Smith Rowe will go because of the market. It's not what I do, but I think this is loan. I think for Fabio Vieira, try and get him a sort of Sambi Lokonga type move where he can get some minutes, and then you can either see what you've got and bring him back, or you can increase his value. I think that's what you do with Fabio Vieira.
I had that with Fabio last summer, 12 months ago, and unfortunately for him, that 12 months has gone. He's barely featured, and I feel his value's probably gone down. That's what I feel, but I don't know. Maybe there's a market for him somewhere. He might get himself to move back to Porto or somewhere like overseas. I don't see a future for Fabio at Arsenal Football Club, I'm afraid.
No, it's one of the few misses. I think is likely to be where we are. I mean, there's time still, but I think that's right. But I think that's why I go the loan and see if I can bump his value, because right now his market is it can't get much lower.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. The next one I want to go to is I'm going to aim at Rory for this one. When we last did this tier list, I think January, when it's transfer window, Rory said, I asked him about Ben White, and he said, sell Ben White.
I know what's coming.
So I want to come to Rory, man.
Did you actually say that?
Yes, at the time.
No.
All right,
I've got the clip,
I'll hold
bro.
my hands up. I'm sorry. Right. Yeah, I can't lie. I did what. Oh, jeez, you put me on the spot
Never
here.
wanted that guy gone.
Yeah, at the time, Ben White, I felt like didn't start the season as well as he did last season, in my opinion. So I thought at the time, maybe we may need to upgrade that position. Because let's be honest, Ben White is an understudy. Right, but he was a centre-back, and we've shifted him as a right-back because Tomiyasu's injury-prone, and I think Ben White at centre back. People are making out that Ben White was awful at centre back. I don't think he was great, but he wasn't awful.
It wasn't bad.
So
I thought he was all right. I thought he was quite good at centre back.
Am I watching the same Ben White as you, Rory?
Yeah, when he was with Vieira, when he was with Gabriel.
yeah,
That season before Saliba came back, he was good. He was doing well.
He started wobbly, but he
he
certainly
started.
grew into it. But I mean, for me, Ben White's one of the best right backs in the league right now, and I'm not just saying. I mean, you're right. His form Christmas time weren't great, but form is temporary and all that. But yeah.
I think at the time I just felt like
I speak to Seb every day.
About what?
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like at the time, and yes, I did say sell, but I did say maybe either sell him or keep him as a squad player. So I just look, I didn't just say get rid of him. All right. I said maybe we should upgrade that position or you can sell him off. That's what I actually did say.
Right.
I never said, right, just get rid of him. I said either sell him or use him as a squad player because I felt like we needed to upgrade that position at the time. Because let's not kid ourselves. Ben White wasn't really the same as last season, I reckon anyway. Don't get it twisted, he had some good performances in there, but he was getting done every single time. And I still maintain that his 1v1 defending isn't the best, but I've got to give it to him. Since the turn of the year, he's been one of the best right backs in the Premier League. And I've been wrong about him. So yes, I am going to say keep, but I just want to clarify this now that I did say either keep him as a squad player, or get rid of him. That's what I was trying to say. Upgrade in that position, because say if we had at the time when Ben White wasn't performing well, say if we were playing a Real Madrid in the Champions League or PSG to an extent, imagine Mbappe and Vinny Jr. running at him. So I wasn't really too confident in Ben White. So I just thought I'd clear that up. But yeah, I would keep him 100% right now, and I think he's good enough for Arsenal Football Club.
Fair enough.
At the time, I was heavily critical because we bought him for 50 million. And yeah, you can say he's been playing with an injury. That's true. But what I was trying to say is we need someone to compete with him at right back.
Yeah.
I didn't just say sell him. As I said, upgrade that position.
There's still
Tommy
Tommy
Asu can't stay fit.
There's still Tommy Asu there.
Yeah,
I
but
think
Tommy Asu
seems to be one that has been sort of nailed on the other side. To be fair, I think he's a better option on the left hand side because the other options we have there, perhaps like the Zinchenko option, does seem to get sort of found out quite a lot. Ben White, I think, is one of our most consistent players, and honest to God, I don't understand why would we want to replace him. Everyone's going to have their views and opinions and stuff. For me, I'm keeping Ben because I think he's got, maybe he's a little bit underrated, perhaps.
I think he's very underrated.
Yeah. Let's look back at the season. Let's look back at a couple of goals against Chelsea. Let's look back at his defensive performances in general. I don't think you really can criticise him. I think he's had a pretty decent season, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he's been the best right back in the league this season.
I reckon next season, Timber may replace him. Yeah, I can't lie, because obviously Ben White came off for Timber last game season against Everton. I reckon that's what Arteta tried to do. I think he was going to go initially Timber as the right back and then Zinchenko as the left back, so both of them invert. But obviously Zinchenko was injured, so we had to go Ben White and then Timber as the left back. So I reckon that's what he's going to do next season, unless if he, sells off Zinchenko, which he may do, or he may keep him as midfielder.
Yeah,
I think there is a potential there that Ben White was being upgraded last time. I don't see that being the case this year. I think Ewan Timber will start a left back this year. But Ben White's key, no question.
Yeah. Guys, I've put some obvious ones that we're going to keep. Obviously, we're not going to. I've put like the full, pretty much full 11 regular starters. So just to make it a bit quicker, because obviously we're not going to sell any of them.
Yeah, you got the right ones there.
Next one I want to go to is Thomas Partey.
Oh,
I think he is going to.
See you later.
This is going to flip in.
I think he is going to go, but the thing is, again, he's only got 1 year left, so we'd have to sign him up to a new contract. When he's fit, he's a quality player, but you can just never stay fit, and you just know he won't next season. And
so painful.
Apart from that, he's such a great player.
If we had Thomas Partey fit for 30, 40 games a season, this is an obvious new contract keep. The reality is we have Thomas Partey for 10 games a season. He's on 200 grand a week. I think, therefore, you need to try and move on from him. Again, and I was talking earlier about how I think there's a market for Reece Nelson. He is nowhere near the level, different position, of Thomas Partey. However, I think this could be a difficult one for Arsenal to move on from because of those wages, because of that injury history. And I think Kieran Tierney will probably fall into this category as well. So I think this is going to be a really difficult deal for Arsenal to move on for. I wouldn't be shocked if he's here next season, but I think if we can find a buyer for him, I would be prepared to take undervalue for him to move on from the wages and allow us to move on in that midfield from Thomas Partey. But I think he is an outstanding central midfielder. I think he's a very, very good number 6. I mean, if he's your backup to Declan Rice next year, you're cooking, right? We were talking earlier about Rodri. There's no one, you could argue with us. We do have that person in Thomas Partey for Declan Rice. But he can't be trusted to stay fit. And, I hate the cliche, but the best availability and all that, best ability is availability. And he's not available. So if you can find a market for him, you move on and you almost take what you can get for him and invest that.
I'll agree with that. 100%, Dom. Look, we're Thomas Partey. I never even thought he'd come back into the side, quite honestly. But he did a phenomenal job at the back end of the season. There's some really excellent performances there. Does he have the consistency? Does he have the reliability of being ready to play for the whole of the season? I doubt very much. I don't think, if he moves somewhere else, do I think it's going to change anything? No, I don't really. It's a really, really difficult one, this one, because, you struggle to replace someone like for like, don't you? But look, it's just how I feel. Thomas Partey, I think, is one to head out the door for me, but with a big thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get someone like Zubimendi in, I think that's probably the closest like for like I can think of for Thomas Partey.
I reckon that Fofana at Monaco.
This summer,
I say to Tremaine from Real Madrid. I say him.
What about Fofana at Monaco?
Yeah. Again, I can see that as well.
Oh, I've not seen that from Static in the chat. Big up to you, Static. Still, Arteta said he can leave. I've not seen that, but if that's the case,
I think he did. I think he did say
I saw that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know what to believe in this time of year
as well. Can't wait until he flipping leaves. I've been watching that guy for 7 years, man.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Forget a prison sentence. Make these lot watch. I'm pretty sure 10 minutes of Eddie Nketiah's highlights, and I'm sure they'll be done.
Still better than Jordan, are you?
No, he's not. You know he is.
I've got a whole panel of buttons down here. I can press any on it.
He's not better than are you.
So, what we're doing with Party, guys? Keep or sell?
Sell if we can.
I'm not ready to let him go. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
not.
Yeah, we have to put him in sell.
I want to keep him so
I don't
bad.
really want him to go, but we can't. With his injury, we can't continue like this.
There's not another Thomas Partey available on the market because say if we sell him, we're gonna have to replace him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a monumental replacement.
I'm going to say again, Josh. I think not Josh. Sorry, Rory. I think you're right. But I think Thomas Partey is high on my sell list because of that injury. I mean, he's played 10 games or something this season. You know, he's injury prone every season, and he's on huge wages. I think our sell list here could be 10, 11, and I don't think that realistic for a window. I really don't. But I think if you can get money for Thomas Partey, you do. If he's here next season, I'm not going to cry about it because I think he's a very, very good player, no question about it. But if you can go Thomas Partey out the door for 15 million, say, and you can bring Zubimendi in for 50, it's 35 million of your budget gone. That is still relatively sizable, but I think there's your like-for-like replacement, much younger and much more reliable. And I think that's a deal you'd want to do. Whereas Mo Elneny, for instance, doesn't need replacing, so therefore is not such a worry. And I don't mean to compare Elneny, who, like you said earlier, Lee, he thanks very much for your service, etc., etc. He's nowhere near Thomas Partey, but my point being that some of these guys aren't replaceable. I don't need replacing. Some do. He would need replacing, but yeah, he's just too injury prone to stay.
Oh dear! Partey's been a flop.
No, he hasn't.
He's not been a flop. Come on.
No.
No. It's all about opinions, guys.
Zero. Zero, dear.
And that's where you're coming from.
I think you've had a stinker there, Tom.
You cannot base the term flop or overrated purely entirely on injury. You can't base that.
Look, I can understand it. We spent 45 million on him. He's 200 grand a week. However, I think he would be a flop if he had an injury history when we bought him. I'm going to say it now. Pedro Neto, I'm not buying him. He's an injury-prone player, and therefore, if we
wouldn't touch him,
no, I wouldn't either. But Thomas Partey didn't have that, and therefore, I'm not sure you can say it's a flop. But I do understand how you can come to that opinion. To be fair to Tom, I disagree.
No way he's been a flop.
I disagree with the opinion. However, I get the opinion there. I understand how that narrative can be put together.
Yeah, but you can't base an opinion purely entirely on injuries. Like that, saying someone's
got to base on the ability.
You can't do it purely entirely.
Yeah, because wasn't he the same one that was involved in that team where we were challenging for the title and we went, what?
He was like the best midfielder in the league at that time. But because of obviously how it ended, Rodri picked him. That's how I view it.
Rob Holding behind him.
He's certainly been better than Casemiro.
I would keep him.
He's certainly been better than Casemiro.
I was better than Casemiro the night I broke my shoulder.
Partey had a good season. Hold on a minute. Partey was good the season when we bottled top four.
Last two seasons has been his best. Last season
Partey's just been unlucky that he's been playing in a poor team at the time. When he first came in through the door, he had to train with players like Socrates, Mustafi, players that he's playing in front of in like that back five. So you can't exactly blame him. He came into a mess, and I feel like even in that season where we finished 8th, Partey still proved that he's a quality midfielder. He was surrounded by crap. It wasn't his fault.
What I also think about Partey is he did signal sort of a change to Arsenal, right? Where he started to signal that you can go there and you can start, what I call a sort of a signal signing, a destination signing, sort of help make Arsenal a bit of a destination again. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out because of the injuries, but that is what that is. But for me, like I say,
come on.
I'm selling if I can find a market. I don't know if anyone disagrees, but that's where I'm at.
I actually
come on,
agree with you.
Tom. Please don't say. Oh Jesus!
Well, what's up?
No, Partey's teammates weren't his problem. He was crap.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Come on.
No.
His teammates were the problem.
No.
Come on. Was it his fault that Arteta threw it from was it Partey's fault that Arteta threw him in the deep end against Tottenham when he was like 50% fit?
No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't Partey's fault. It was the manager's fault for pushing him too hard.
Yeah. He had players like Ceballos alongside him. Come on. There's no way that guy was a flop at Arsenal.
Guys, let's move on to Zinchenko.
Who's this? Did he say Zinchenko?
He did.
Okay. I
think I know what's going to happen with Zinchenko.
I keep him, but only
again.
I keep him, but if a big offer comes in that we can't refuse, then sell. But I wouldn't play him at left back. I'll move him to midfield because I do actually.
I'd get rid.
I wouldn't get rid of him just yet. I'm not ready to wash my hands.
I would
just yet. Keep.
I'd get rid of him as well.
But if a good offer comes in of 40 million plus, then we have to listen. But
I think he's grown out of the system, to be quite honest.
Because don't forget, especially if you're going to get rid of Smith Rowe and Vieira, then you're going to need someone in that area, and you've got someone there that's more than capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Seb just wants he just wants Grimaldi. I'm actually keeping Zinchenko. Unless Seb's right, if you get a big offer come in, then you definitely take it. But I think you're looking at your sell list, and again, I go back to the point: you can't sell too many here. What I do think is you don't want Zinchenko starting against Liverpool, Tottenham.
No.
But what you do want is if we're home against Nottingham Forest, I think there is your left back because of the fact he's another progressive passer that you're getting on the pitch. He's not as much of a liability defensively as people make out. I really don't think so. I understand the narrative because you can always find those mistakes, and they have been there this year. But I think for me, Zinchenko is your backup left back. Timber is your starter. If Timber's injured and you're playing Liverpool, then Tommy shifts to left back. But I think there is a role for Zinchenko in this side this year. It's just as a squad player now, not as a starter. And that's why if a big offer comes in, you take it. But I don't think you actively look to sell because if yes, another player, you need to then look to replace. And I don't think we need to at this point. So for me, he's a keep.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even play him against Nottingham Forest. They've still got pacey players on the break. I just don't think he should be playing as a left back against teams.
Move him to midfield, but not defensively. But
I can't lie.
Midfielder, yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, he is a midfielder, and I'm not blaming him by any means that he's had to shift in as a left back. I wouldn't mind us keeping him, but that's if we are gonna play him as a midfielder. But yeah,
I don't think he's ever going to play as midfield. Look, he's going to.
I reckon he's the only player in this current squad that we can get money for.
Mm.
Around 30 to
40 million comes. If 40 million comes in, you take it.
Oh, of course. 100%. I think at that point, no question. There's absolutely no question about that. I just don't think it will. And I think you keep him. I think he does have some abilities on the ball, no question about it. I don't think he's going to move to midfield. I personally wouldn't mind that either. But I think actually, when you're chasing a game, and is he brilliant defensively? No, but he's not the liability. I think he gets unfair. I think that's a bit unfair. I also think he took the rap for ones that were. He took 100% rap for a couple of goals that were not entirely his fault. I think he was part of the fault, but not the entire blame. I think for me, he becomes your squad left back, not your starting left back, and I think that's his role.
I can't lie, I do disagree. I think Zinchenko is defensively a liability. I really do.
Oh,
You see the defensive
our
high
weakest
line with.
but not a liability for me. And I know
I reckon he is. You know, you saw the defensive high line or the defensive line we shaped up against Aston Villa when he played. Man was playing the entire team on side.
I mean, you can always find a mistake in any player, but I get the narrative, right? I don't think you play him against those top sides. I don't. I think he's not good enough for that, but I think he does have a role when you're playing those lesser sides where you just want that extra ball player on the ball. It's partly why, I know this is ridiculous, but it's partly why Arteta tried that daft experiment with Partey at right back to try and get extra ball players on the ball. I don't think that worked, but I think with Zinchenko, and sorry, Lee, I think you want to come in, I will, but I think with this one, he does allow you to get that extra ball player on the ball, and therefore he does have a role to play in that squad. He just doesn't start against those top sides, and that's why he becomes your squad player, not your starter, which shows where Arsenal have moved right again. And probably, if you're asking me in 12 months' time, am I moving on? At that point, yes, but I think we have too much to do this summer, and he is perfectly good enough for Arsenal, no question.
Look, I reckon he's been an excellent servant still for the club. I'm not taking that away from him. He's been not like a brilliant signing, but when it comes to like his service to the club, I can't fault him whatsoever. Because without him, I don't think our mentality changes. I really don't. So that is what I'll give him credit for. I wouldn't mind seeing him, you know, staying come the start of the season. Sorry, but I don't know. I think there's out of all like the positions we need to strengthen, and you got what Tomiyasu, Timber, who else? Yeah, I mean you got Tomiyasu can play there, Timber obviously. I just don't see any room for Zinchenko. I can't lie, especially if we do sign someone in that 8 role and you're keeping Smith Rowe.
I think then if you sell Zinchenko, you're going to have to bring in a left or a right back, and I think you're already having to bring in a defender because I think we're one short, unless you're keeping Kieran Tierney.
Oh yeah, Tierney. Forget about him.
Or Nuno Tavares, Seb. Maybe him. I've got my buttons back out.
We have so many left backs.
Tavares, no way. He's way worse. No.
Can we just put Tavares in sell now, by the way, Josh? Just to say,
I think Tavares is better defensively than Zinchenko. I really do.
Man.
I think he is.
No.
Really? I'm not saying I'll keep him, but
real quickly, Tavares was a £7 million gamble. He was a backup left back when we were finishing 8th in the league. I'm not going to get on the signing, but if we can sell him now and get our money back, then I think you do that.
When I did that article, when I did that article on which signings have been good and which signings have been bad. But when I put Tavares in bad, but you said no, the jury's out. It's not around.
No, I think that's a potted history there, Seb. What I said was
the jury was never out.
Well, no, I think that's a potted history. What I said was there needs to be a category there needs to be a category in between where it's not just good or bad. Nuno Tavares was a £7 million signing, right? He came in to be the squad player at the time when we were finishing 8th in the league. That was a perfectly fine signing at the time. The squad has moved past him. If you can sell him at a profit or even getting your money back, that doesn't make it a bad signing. What he does is he goes in and neither good nor bad. That's what I actually said. But Nottingham Forest were prepared to offer 12 million in the summer. Let's not forget. I think we'll struggle to get that now because unfortunately got injured at Forest. But yeah, I think. Unless you're bringing back a left back, one of the ones out on loan, then I think there's too much to do, and that's why I keep Zinchenko. This time next year, I'm probably saying something different, but right now, that's where I'm at with Zinchenko. But Nuno Tavares, unless anyone disagrees, can go in the sell, Josh.
Yeah. I was about to say that. Yeah, definitely. Right, let's go to. I've put a few youngsters in loan. Like I think this guy called Taylor Foran. I've put Saggy Junior. I think he can go on loan.
Or Sago, yeah. He needs a
What
lot.
about Nwaneri, guys? What about
Keep.
Nwaneri?
I'll keep him.
Keep him. I definitely want
keep
to.
him
I
as
want to
a squad
promote him. Promote. Keep. I think he's a great player.
I'm inclined to agree as long as you can get him some minutes. I think he's a late decision for me, where you get sort of towards the end of August, mid-August maybe, and you see what your midfield options are like. I think if you bring in a couple of central midfielders, Thomas Partey's, well, you don't bring in two, Thomas Partey's still around, but you bring in a couple of midfielders, Smith Rowe hasn't moved on or Vieira hasn't moved on, then I think you try and get him some minutes. But I think ideally you try and incorporate him, fast track him sort of Saka style into that first team. Not necessarily the minutes Saka got, but I think you keep him. But I think there are scenarios where you loan him. But for me, he's a keep. Where did we put Zinchenko, by the way?
Keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see him. Sorry, that's why I was asking. My impassioned plea.
Yeah, keep. What about Marquinhos, guys? Who we signed, sent him out on loan 2 times.
Not good enough.
Hasn't worked out.
Yeah,
not good enough.
Yeah, it goes in the Tavares category, doesn't it? It's a gamble.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. He's hardly played.
Yeah, you take a gamble. Look, we took the gamble with Gabriel Martinelli, and it's paid off big time. But for every Gabriel Martinelli, there are 4 or 5 Marquinhoses, right? You know, that's the way it works. But he's a sell, yeah.
Oh yeah, is Charlie Patino on the list?
Yeah, is he on the list?
Josh is desperately hoping he's putting him on the list. Hasn't forgotten about Charlie Patino.
Yeah.
I hope so, because I've got something to say about that.
Oh no!
I think we already know Charlie Patino's on his way out, don't we?
Yeah, he's
go on, Seb. Speak.
I've got something to say about that. We should be keeping him. There's no
Where's
way we should be.
Where does he get his minutes, Seb?
Of course, he gets his minutes.
Look,
you can promote players. Nwaneri and Patino should be the 2 that get promoted. The thing is that every time Patino's actually come in, he's actually done all right. So let's actually give him a chance. And lots of
my days.
Jesus, sorry, he's an absolute keep. It's a mistake that we're not giving him a contract and we're looking to move him on. It's a mistake, because I'm telling you, we're going to regret that. He's a keep for me.
Roy, you've been called out, bro.
Nwaneri's 17, man. Come on.
Yeah, no.
Nwaneri's 17.
Yeah.
Whereas we promoted youngsters who were 19, 20 years old. I'm pretty much judging these academy players of what I've seen. We've seen Nketiah. We've seen Nelson. Nwaneri, the minutes we've seen of him, he looks good.
Same with
I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but he's been good.
Yeah,
different levels.
And Nwaneri's 17 as well. Whereas Nketiah, Nelson, these lot were 18, 19 when they got promoted.
Exactly. They've had their chance. They've had their chance.
Yes, they've had their chances.
These people haven't.
Go on, Lee.
So no, it's not flip-flopping.
My broadcast partner saying you'd keep Nwaneri, but Arteta doesn't care about academy players, so I sadly don't think he's got a future at Arsenal. I disagree. I think Nwaneri would definitely have a place in the first team squad next season. That's just my opinion.
So I don't know if you heard earlier, Lee. I was just saying I think Ian Ware is a late call depending on who you bring in and who's left. If you can get minutes for him, you definitely do. If not, you loan him. I think his future is very much at Arsenal with Ethan Nwaneri. I think this narrative about Arteta not trusting the academy players is not necessarily entirely valid. I think we've just seen a crop of players come through that have made it into a squad when it was
not everyone can make it. Not everyone
can make it, right? You know, Nelson doesn't make it through today, right? Because the level has got that little bit higher. That will automatically mean that the less players are going to come through because you've got to be that little bit better than you used to have to be to get into the side, right? But I think he has shown where he does trust players. You know, could he do it more? Maybe, but also you're not going to get a Saka every season or even every 2 seasons. You know, they're a rare gem. I think even Nwaneri has a future at Arsenal, whether that's alone this year or whether that's part of the first team squad, depend, I think, on where we are in August for me. But I think for Charlie Patino, I think he's a good player. I just don't see where he gets the minutes in this side. You ask me Charlie Patino or Ethan Ranieri, I'd rather give Ethan Ranieri the minutes than Charlie Patino. I think Charlie Patino will become a Premier League player at a Brighton, Brentford, that sort of level. I think that is really, really good. And maybe he will prove to be a miss. But at this moment in time, Charlie wants to be playing football. We can't offer it to him. He doesn't get in ahead of Rice or whoever else we bring in the summer. It's time for Charlie, unfortunately, to move on. We'll take the millions and whatever we get for him in a sell-on clause and wish him well. I think he's a very, very good player. But to Seb's point, not everyone can make it at Arsenal, and I think that's why Charlie Patino moves. Well, he's going to move on anyway, regardless of what I think.
He's someone who can't move on. Neither can then.
I've always wondered, is Ranieri like a centre attacking midfielder or a striker?
Centre mid.
I think he's
because I know he's a midfielder, but is he like a centre mid, centre attacking midfielder?
Centre mid, yeah.
Oh, he's young enough that he doesn't need a defined role at this point, right? He's young enough, but for me, Seb, if you want to keep Charlie Patino, where are you getting his minutes? Who does he come out?
There's people going. There's people going. There's people who will be leaving.
Yeah, of course, but
he will get on that. He can get on that bench. Of course.
You're not going to sign someone then.
But you've got to give them. You've got to give them a chance. How do you know we're not playing him much? And the times he actually has played, he's actually done well. He's done well.
Yeah, like this is what I've been trying to say this whole time.
You've got to give him a chance. Give him a go. Don't be. Give him a go. I'd even have him on the bench.
I've been trying to say.
I'd even have him on the bench over Jorginho.
Really?
Over Jorginho?
Yes. Give him a go. Give him a go.
Sorry, real quick. 2 questions, Seb. Seriously, 2 questions. One, how does that fit in with win your title now narrative? Because I think Jorginho is a better player right now than Patino.
Well, obviously, yes, because he's had
over Jorginho.
When the pressure's on the line. Secondly, okay, where's the minute come from? Because you're still players going, but presumably we are going to want to bring in players like Azuba Mendy or Bruno Guimaraes or whoever.
Said it all.
Where does Patino get his minutes when you do that? So
you don't always have to put Jorginho and all of this on the bench. Maybe it depends who you're necessarily playing. If it's against teams like City, Chelsea, or those away games where you need more control of the game, you play Jorginho. But if it's someone like most of the other teams that you don't need more control, that you can just you play Patino. That's how you manage your squad. You don't always. El Nene didn't always get on that bench. He didn't always get on that bench. The thing with Jorginho, he's only going to be here one season. Yes, have him around the squad, but he doesn't need to be there every single game. You can put Patino on. Yeah. Put Patino on. Give him his chance. Give him his minutes. So then, for the better games, and some of the Champions League games, you play Jorginho. You do not have to play every single game.
Okay,
every single game.
Because against Bayern, it proved that I think the amount of games caught up with him.
Exactly. They'll catch up with him, and then his legs will go. There you go.
You're looking to
Man United made the same mistake with Casemiro.
Look
how shit he's been this season.
Exactly.
I mean,
that goal we scored against them, it was all him.
There's no midfield in Manchester, right?
Exactly. But Jorginho's one whose legs will go. This is why I think we were right to give him 1 year, but doesn't mean you have to play him all the time, or you have to for backup.
But real quick though, here you've got. Look, let's say you want to bring in Zubimendi, yeah? You've got Rice, you've got Odegaard. You're going to keep Warner Smith-Rowe Vieira, right? You want Ethan Ranieri to get minutes. You've got Jorginho getting minutes, right? Where does Patino's minutes come from? I'd rather Ethan Ranieri have them. But secondly, also, you're saying Jorginho's legs are gone. He's never been a quick midfielder. That was never his game. Casemiro has been found out this year because he's been asked to cover Declan Rice. Levels of the pitch, right? And he can't do that. We're not asking Jorginho to do that. Never have. For me, Charlie Patino is a very good player. I like Charlie Patino. But the reality is, we can't give him the minutes. He won't want to stay, and we can't give him the minutes at all. It's now or never. He's not going to sign a new deal.
We'll give him his run in pre-season. This is the time to give him his run, and then you will see. And then maybe you'll have second thoughts. But the thing is, we've never been playing him then.
So
how on earth do you
what
expect?
happens? What happens then when we go to, I don't know, Crystal Palace, right? Charlie Patino starts in that game, Sambi Lakonga style, right? He starts in that game, and we lose or draw. You will go absolutely up the wall that Charlie Patino played, and we didn't play Zubamendi or Rice or whoever
No,
he
no,
gets
no,
the
no,
minutes
no, no,
for.
no, 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 no,
To be
no,
fair, that's not
no.
what he said.
That's not how.
But that's, no, I know that.
That's
But
not
that's what's
how.
going to
No,
happen.
no.
But that's what will happen when Charlie Patino starts.
No.
in the game.
The thing
But it
is,
will.
that's not what he's in for. That's not what he's in for. That's not what he's in for.
Well, you're just saying that's where you give him his minutes.
No, yes. But the thing is, you get him off that bench, and then you get him. You
But
finish.
he doesn't want to come off the bench, does he? He wants to start.
No, you get him off. You get him off that bench. You get him off that bench, and also some games you start him as well. That's how you bring players
So he starts
through.
against Crystal
How on
Palace.
earth?
Who
How
does he
on
start
earth?
against? Who does he start against?
Ipswich, Southampton.
Oh, the disrespect there is unbelievable, mate. Oh,
What do you mean? Sorry, what's up?
He's not quite ready to start games.
Ipswich.
He's going to want to. He's got to that point now. He's a 2-year start in the Championship. He's going to want minutes. He's going to want more minutes than we can offer him. That's the reality.
We barely given him any minutes. So of course he's not going to be happy.
He's not even playing at Swansea.
But he's going to want minutes, and we're not going to be able to offer them to him, and that's why he's got to move on.
Maybe not.
He'll know
How
that
about
midfield area is stacked.
Yeah.
How about this? Right, has Patino's loan spells actually pulled up any trees? Has he really made a difference in wherever he's been? I'm not sure about that. Don't talk about. Don't. No. I've let you all talk. You can
That-
you can
oh,
let me
yes.
talk for a second.
That ball was good. It wasn't his fault they went down. One
So-
person can't stop it.
Yeah.
You're still talking.
Blackpool.
That ball was decent. Swansea was all right.
Swansea got
He
injured.
quite a bit. He wasn't awful.
Yeah, he got injured. Started off well and then got injured.
Yeah, well, that's not.
Is that
I
our
still
first
think-
now?
I still think Patino, if he had the potential to be in an Arsenal squad, he possibly would have had more game time. He would have.
I agree with you, Lee.
Sorry, I don't like that.
What's up?
I don't like getting talked about.
Lee,
The whole
Lee,
argument is irrelevant anyway, because we all know Charlie
Yeah.
leaving the club anyway.
Well, I think that's a mistake. Unless they should insert like a buyback clause or something. Then are we for it? But
All right, guys.
I think we're making a mistake with him.
I agree with Lee. I think it was me speaking over you, Lee, because you cut out. But I was just saying I agree with you.
Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Samuel Lakonga, guys. I think he's going anyway.
Oh,
So.
Not good enough.
I think with Sambi Lakonga,
Right,
he's come out to play.
We've got two here. We've got Louis.
So yeah, he's had a great spell at Luton. Obviously, you know he's had some game time and all that, but I think his potential is probably done at Arsenal. So yeah, he's gone.
Agreed. And I think his time at Luton might just have given us a couple more million onto his value this summer.
Exactly. Yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
That's a good point, actually.
Wow, that just froze.
Okay.
Frozen again.
No, Josh, I heard you.
What's going on here, man?
He's back.
Seriously.
Another 50p in the meat, mate.
We back.
We've all been there.
McDonald's Wi-Fi back in. You know? It happens every single stream, people. What's going on?
Roy, you're gonna have to vamp, mate.
Right. The two the two we got two here, yeah. Two youngsters. I think this is Kuza Dewberry, yeah, and then Lewis Skelly. What do you guys do with them?
I'll loan them both. Loan, yeah, loan.
Yeah.
I rate Kozidube. I think he's
Wait, which one's Lewis Skelly? I swear the first one. Are you sure the first one isn't Lewis Skelly? And the second one's. I don't know if any of them are.
Nah, bro.
Which one's Cosy Dewberry? Is it?
That's the one we just moved up. The one we just moved up.
Oh, okay.
I can't see the pictures from here, but it's probably getting old.
Best till last, guys.
Of course, he's left him.
Best till last, we got Kieran Tierney.
Ooh.
Oh,
I don't
keep
mind
him.
seeing him.
Come on, keep
Like
him.
as a
Come
squad.
on, guys.
Josh, yeah, go on, Keith.
Yeah, I'd like to keep him as another left back.
Yeah.
Just for one more season. Hold your fire.
If no one wants to pay the money and just want to pay ridiculous prices, you've got to keep him.
What sort of value, Seb?
Well, he's got 2 years left on his contract. We should be demanding more than what we pay for.
You're not getting that for Kieran Tierney. Not
He
with
has
his
to
wages.
be. Otherwise, we keep him. No, we keep him. No, we've got to get some money within the club. We can't keep giving people away. And that's why he stayed. That's why he only loaned him last year. I don't think he should be going out on loan again. I think we've got to either make a decision with him. We can't.
What are your thoughts, mate?
Sorry. Sorry.
I looked like Lee was trying to come in, and I know there's been a delay on his line.
no, I never said anything. I'm good.
We can't just keep giving him away or loaning him out. You got. But I don't think Arteta will keep him though. I think because of the system. But I personally would be up for giving him another chance.
So with Kieran Tierney, I'll say this.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got so much respect for him as a left back, and if it was my opinion, I'd be keeping him in the squad. Of course, I will. Bertie knows this because he's saying it in the chat. We must keep Kieran Tierney, but for some stupid reason, it won't happen. I think, perhaps something happened beyond our ears, beyond what has happened, But look, with Tierney, no. If we were keeping him in our first team squad, he wouldn't have had a season loan over in Sociedad, would he?
No, I'm a big Kieran Tierney fan. I think he's a leader. I think he's a quality player. I think something has happened. I think you're right. I also think that his injuries have to be factored in here. That's why you're not going to get the money you paid for him back because of those wages and just and the injury history. It's a Thomas Partey situation. I think the reality is Kieran Tierney's future lies outside of Arsenal. I think he's a fabulous player, but I understand why the club would sell him. But I think he's the one that's going to need replacing when he goes. We are going to need to bring in an 8th defender for me. I think we got away with 7 this year because you've got Tomiyasu with the history, Zinchenko with a bit of an injury history, and we don't know how. I suspect Tim will get the odd niggle this year because it often happens coming back from ACL. So I think we need an 8th. I think Kieran Tierney, if he's at 8th, I'm very happy with that. No problem for me whatsoever. I just don't think it's going to happen, and he's going to move on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I do understand why. I just would rather it didn't happen.
Yeah, agree. It's a shame. He's a quality player, and so he'll get some good playing time somewhere. I just don't think it's going to be at Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. It is a shame, but say that again.
I was asking how your Big Mac was. No, I was asking what you do with Kieran Tierney.
What, Josh?
Oh my god!
You know his answer.
I'll sell it. Not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. Bin him off. Nah, man.
It's not good enough.
Tierney's my guy.
Yeah, we know Josh's answer to that.
I was just giving you his chance. It's his show.
Keeping him all day long, bro. I want him as our main left back.
Yeah, we all know he's on.
I just don't see. I don't see him.
Or shall we all say sell?
Maybe Tim will be our main left back next season.
Yeah, Tim will be there.
I think you're right. Yes.
Nah. I don't all say sell, man.
Nah, I wouldn't sell him.
Nah, I
Unless,
wouldn't.
I think it's
unless a
reality.
good offer comes in, then you have to take it.
You're not getting your money back on Kieran Tierney. It's not going to happen.
Then he stays. Then he stays.
It's not going to happen. He's not going to happen. He is going to go. That is reality.
Yeah, strong agree on that.
Him and Thomas Partey,
Yeah.
you're not getting your money back, and you've got to make a decision when an offer comes in for him for both of them because of their injury history. It's not going to be a big one, and you need to make the decision: are you going to free up the wages and take what comes in for them, or are you keeping them? And that's a decision Edu will have to make this summer.
That's where he earns his money.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Look, so because we're an hour and 42 minutes in, I tell you, we're gonna go all night, man. If we do the whole transfer, players coming in,
Oh my
sign or
God.
shouldn't sign.
We haven't touched the surface yet, Josh.
What I'm gonna do, yeah. what I'm gonna do, yeah, is I'm gonna go around each one of you, yeah, and I want to know if you had to paint a picture, yeah, for this transfer window, your main targets you want to see come in. I'll start with you, Lee, bro.
Well, it's easy,
Yeah,
right?
easy. Newcastle's Isaac, please. Thank you very much.
Wait, do we have to mention one player, or can we mention a few?
You mentioned a few, man.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought George wanted to go to bed. I thought it was one.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So yeah,
Oh
Lee's
my
going with Isaac, yeah, from Newcastle.
Yeah, easy for me.
Yeah,
I think it's a great fit. He ticks all the boxes for us. We certainly going to need another striker, potentially with Nketiah leaving. Absolutely an easy shout for me.
Fair play, man. Dom, what about you, man? What would be your sort of the main targets that you'd go for?
Jordan Ayew.
No.
All the respect to Jordan Ayew, by the way, he's a great player.
No. He is better than Eddie, though, but no.
I take it as
Look, I'm also a big Isaac fan. I think it's going to be incredibly difficult to get done. I think that Guimaraes is more likely to be the one that exits Newcastle. So I don't expect to see that one happen. I think for me, midfield is the one I'm most interested in seeing what we do there. Ideal world, I'd love to see someone come in like Frenkie de Jong if you can, but that's going to be very expensive. You can't do that and the big name striker. So I think decisions are going to be made. I think the sort of lower value shouts I'd look at, and I've got sort of three names for you here. Not that one of them not very exciting, but I think that's where this transfer window will boil down to. It's not going to be the big names. It's what you do with the 20, 30, 40 million pound signings. I think obviously Williams has that release clause. As your wide forward option. I think that's a very attractive deal for us to look to get done at 40 million. And I think quite an exciting one. I think I mentioned him a few weeks ago, Coop Miners into that 8 potentially as an option there. The Atlanta player, not AC Milan, because I got mixed up with my Football Manager save.
Which guy from?
We've all been there.
Yeah, Coop Miners.
Coop
Miners, the central midfielder.
Yes, I like him. Yes.
I'm not saying that's your first choice, but I think that's an option you can play about with depending on where you put your money. And then there's another one, and this is a sort of 20 million pound one. Stuttgart have a left back called Ita who can play left, right, and he can an emergency play centre half. I think could he come in and be that 8th defender? I think he's a 25 million pound signing. I think that could be an interesting one. I know you asked for the big names, but I just think that's just a couple of interesting ones just to throw in there. Those last two.
Yeah.
They're not my top priority signings. I'm just throwing in some different sort of names into the mix there, just to sort of think through.
Yeah, some good
fair enough, man. Fair enough. Rory, I'll come to you.
Dave stuff. I have no idea if he's linked them. By the way, I'm just some just weird and wonderful signings that sort of came into my head. Apologies if I have ripped someone off there. I genuinely haven't looked.
Rory, what about you, man?
Gyökeres, definitely. Nah.
Rory, I so nearly did that just for kicks and giggles. Do you know what?
Yeah, not Leno, 100%.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
it's because would he really want to?
We could do the keeper, so yes.
What, a second choice? So you would want Leno back
Yes.
for second choice?
No. For competition. Like that.
Well, that's which one is it?
Did
Second
that work with Ryan Ramsdale?
No. Look, Ramsdale was look.
Oh.
Here we go.
We'll be here all night. No. Look, it was his fault. We got rid of him. He should never have gone in the first place. No, never.
But it was too good to be number 2.
No. But he was always better, and he was always better.
So he's not. So changing the goalkeeper, which made a big impact on the way we play football and has helped transform us.
No, he didn't.
That was definitely a mistake, right?
No, he didn't. Raya did, not Ramsdale. No, he didn't.
Well, I think you'll find it started under Ramsdale quite significantly. Rory, do you want to have a go at the next reel?
I mean, where's Leno's camps?
Oh, come on. Look, come on.
Where's Leno's FA Cup?
Yes, he's got one. Yes, he has.
He was injured.
He was still part of that squad. Yes, he's got one. Yes, he does.
What,
Yeah,
on
I'd like to
crutches?
see Rob
Ramsdale
Holding
doesn't
come
have
back.
one.
For number 2.
Ramsdale doesn't have one. Yeah, he does.
Did he play a huge part though?
Rory, who's your name? Is it Mustafi back on a free? Because I hear
No.
Perhaps. Well, we need a striker, so I'll pull Benter out retirement. Why not?
Oh my God.
Lord Ben.
No, I'm kidding.
Maurice is not
Isak for me at Newcastle.
Isaac, yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of that guy since he was at Real Sociedad.
And anyone else like midfield wise or?
I would love that for Fofana at Monaco. I reckon he's the perfect replacement for Thomas Partey.
We watched
I think
him.
he's got a year left on his contract. He's worth around 25 million. And look, there's a good reason why he has been called up for France a couple of times. I think he's a quality player and he's already equipped for the Premier League. So I'll go for him in midfield, actually. And then centre back, I'll go. Although I don't think we do need a centre back, if I'm being real, because we've got players who can play there.
Now we have Ben White, we're all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as a right winger, I'll go Elise at Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
I reckon Isak, Elise, and Grimaldo from Leverkusen. Obviously.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
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 Is this something we can all agree on?
Yeah.
Grimaldo. Over to you, said man.
Well, I think there's 4. If we're going to be going on all fronts and competing for the league and Champions League and going forward,
Charlie Patino.
Okay, yes, we can put that in as well. Okay, we can put that in to re-sign as a new contract. Yes. Okay, we can put that in as well.
Yeah. Olivier Giroud.
No.
Oh no. He's already gone. Yes.
Yeah,
No.
I'll stop. You go.
Right.
I'll stop.
I agree with you all. Isaac from Newcastle, yes, definitely. He'd be my ideal candidate. I think he's brilliant for what we need, and different type of striker can get you loads of goals and fully adapted to the Premier League. And he seems to be over his injury niggles. So yes, Isaac. We also, yes, as you're right, we also need a midfielder. Zubimendi is who I like. I think he's more of like a Rodri type. I don't think he's more of a party type. Someone who just likes to keep it calm and break up the play and also start an attack. So Zubimendi for me. And I think there's 2 more positions we need to send for. One of them is on the wing. Because the thing is with Saka, we can't keep playing him every week, and we have got competition there. We've got Martinelli there, and Trossard can play there. But also, I've said for ages Pedro Neto, and I'm still sticking with that.
Oh, I thought you were going to shift Jordan Ayew to the right.
No, I never said Jordan Ayew.
Come on, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Come on.
Pedro Neto, yeah, it won't be too long. Pedro Neto, yes, I want him. I think he'd be brilliant for us. And yes, once he does get over his injury spells, then I reckon he could be a good player for us. So
What, in 2029?
he'll be fine.
I mean,
Look, he's
I
only
think-
coming in. Look, he's only coming in to rotate and all that, and
Yeah,
also
but he's too
coming in
injured, though.
competition. I reckon he could start every week. So Neto, and also Gramonzo left back. So those 4 players that we need. 4.
I can't get on board with Pedro Neto. I
Why?
said it earlier in the
Because of
season.
injuries.
The injuries are too much for me, and he's had 4 hamstrings, I think it is this year, maybe 3. Either way, they've been significant injuries this year,
Yeah.
and it's been the case for a couple of years now. I think he's a fabulous player, but I'm sorry, I can't. So, we were talking earlier about Partey and Tierney. And Jesus is another one with those injuries, and I wonder whether he might spot Saka at times, by the way, this year. But
If good offer comes in, yes. Otherwise, again, I'm not ready to wash my hands with him.
no, agree. But I think Neto falls into the camp here of those injuries, and you're actively
There's
signing
going to be
someone
lots
you
of
know
games to
injured.
play. There's going to be lots of games. There's going to be
Yeah,
lots
he's
of
not gonna
games
be
to play. So you need a big squad, and you
Yes,
also need.
But he's not going to be available for them half
He
the
will
time.
be fine. He will. He's not going to be out every game.
I think I can't get on board with Neto with those injuries. I really can't.
Of course I can. Gramonzo as well, left back.
Ronaldo, of course you want your
Perfect left back. Look at what perfect left back.
DeMarco clear, Seb. But moving on. Anyway, yeah, Seb, Pacino could not get a game for Swansea.
He's
been
injured.
Of course, he's been injured.
Jesus Christ.
You sign him up and you keep him in the squad. You have him on the bench. He comes. There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be lots of games. Of course, he's going to get.
Did you just say Arteta?
Who's your dolly, Rory? Oh, I think he means the guy in the back, like that little pillow you've got, of yourself.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Trossard, isn't it?
Is that Trossard in drag?
What? Oh my god! No, it's my face. I don't know how they've done it.
Probably need a full screen him. Yeah, mate.
Oh, do we have
let's,
to?
Let's not subject ourselves to that.
Yeah, he was poor.
Well, this is going to way I don't think any of us expected.
I can't believe you thought that was Arteta, by the way. Does Arteta have... I don't even know what colour that is. Brown hair?
Posh says about this Garrissi guy. Remember, we was linked with him, like...
Yeah, he's decent, you know.
He's all right.
He's
But
got
again,
he's got 15.
but this has been only his first good season. So
yeah, he's got a 15 million release clause, I think.
Again, it has been. I think if we brought him in, we had to bring in someone else as well. And also, I've seen these things with Sesko. I'm a bit mixed with him. I think he is a good striker, but again, I'm just not sure he's that guy that quite.
I think he's another Kai Havertz, Seb.
He's a guy that quite gets you to.
I reckon it'll be there for the Euros though, so we can actually.
I think we need to see a little bit more of him before we can really get in.
Yeah, we can expect him better in the Euros.
I don't mind the player, but I'm just not 100%. I'm just like, because these next signings we buy,
like 19 goals in 21
these next
games.
signings we have to take us to the next level, get us over that line. Now that's what we need.
I think that's going to be the challenge.
I just don't. I'm not sure Sesko is quite ready to do that, and also,
and
this is
also
why
been with Brian Brobby, I think, at Ajax.
And this is why I'm bringing up these names like Neto, or Isaac, and Zubimendi and Grimaldo, because those are the players you need to get you to the next level. That's why I'm bringing these up, and we should be in a position where we can do that now.
In fairness, Seb,
I don't think Grimaldo happening, to be fair, but
no, that Grimaldo's not going to happen. And Neto will raise the standards in our physio room, no end. But
because if he's that good, why would Leverkusen sell him?
If you give him money, pay the money, he's coming.
How much is he worth?
He's coming. He'll come.
How much do you reckon he's worth?
Well, come on, he's worth over 20 million, definitely.
Well, yeah, because you said Kieran Tierney's 25. I mean,
oh yeah, did Leno make the Germany squad?
He's up against Neuer. He's up against Neuer. You haven't got any chance with up against him.
Who's how?
What about the other two keepers? But
Wait,
but, I
wait,
mean,
wait!
the
I
big
haven't seen that squad.
The real big problem though with the striker market this year is there's no sort of thing, is there? I think that's what it is, a very difficult market this summer.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of teams shopping in that market, and
I
I don't
actually
think
do.
there's a sure thing. Isaac is probably the closest to it, but even he's had his injury problems. He seems to be over them, but you know he's going to be 100 million plus.
I actually don't think
you are
Arsenal.
big risk all
I,
round.
I don't think you're going to see what you saw last year. I don't think you're going to see Arsenal make them £100 million signing. I don't think.
No, and therefore you're
I
not.
think they're going to
that.
be. I think they're going to be like shrewd with their business and quite clever. Like if a player has like a release clause that they really want, they'll do it, and other than that they'll make some sensible additions. I just don't think you'll see. It won't be like a Rice like this summer. I think they'll still be looking to get players that they can generally know will improve the squad. I just don't think you'll quite see them splash out 100 million or 90 million on the players.
Not unless there's
if there's a release clause in there that the player has, like I said, and that's who they really want, they'll do it. I think David Ornstein said that as well. You told me, and it's something I can believe. What won't happen?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's why I threw those sort of 40, 50 million names out there rather than.
And I don't mind the club doing that, but these signings have to come in and hit the ground running and take us to the next level. We can't be like saying, "Oh, it might work, it might not." I want proper top proven help.
I think that's what they look to try and do. I think the striker might be the interesting one if they do that. If they do that, maybe they get Havertz and Jesus.
Strikers are never cheap. Strikers are never cheap. They're always
no, of course. But I think trying to find that top level striker that takes you to the next level, because I think unless Jesus' knee is gone, you'd expect more out of him next year. I think that will be the interesting one to see what they do, if they do anything there, or whether they just go wide forward or try and do both. I think that'll be something interesting to watch. I think there's lots of options, and I think a lot of it will come down to who does go out the door. Because I don't think all those players that we said are going out the door will be able to go out the door. So who's left, and that sort of dictates a little bit of what you look to do. But at the same time, they will have those targets in mind, and those 2 or 3 will be very fixed. Then the other 1 or 2 beyond that will probably be fluid based on circumstance and what happens.
Yeah, no, for sure, guys, for sure. Look, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. We're done almost 2 hours, but it's been an absolute pleasure with all of you as always. Let's shout out everyone's channels. Starting with you, Lee, man. Thanks for coming on, mate, and want to know where they can find you and what content you got coming up as well.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, mate. Yeah, you can find me, of course, at Gooner Gathering, and you can find me at Gooner Lee Meads on X as well. Content coming up. We are going to be doing a special Gooner Gathering Awards sometime during this week. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. Just a fun little stream where we look back at some of our clips on our channel, and we'll just have a bit of a laugh at ourselves and put our suits on and have a good time. So yeah, join me and Posh either Wednesday or Thursday, and that's what we've got coming up. And again, been an absolute pleasure, Josh. Thank you everyone on the panel as well. It's been fun.
Yeah, big up, Lee, man. Big up. Keep up with your channel as well. I'm really enjoying, the content, especially when Posh does as a football manager, man. I've been loving that recently.
Don't give him a big head. You know what it's like.
So yeah. And by the way, we are, as I said at the start, we are live on both channels. So big up to everyone who came over and left comments from Lee's channel as well, Lee and Posh's channel, Gooner Gathering as well. Really do appreciate everyone there as well. But Rory, bro, I'll come to you next. You got any content yourself coming up?
Yeah, I might make a video on the Champions League final afterwards. Is that Wednesday? I just need confirmation.
So. Champions League final?
Wednesday. I may do a video or two because I kind of want to make
Wednesday. It's usually due to Saturday. Usually due to
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
The Conference League is what's on Wednesday.
Yeah, Conference League is Wednesday. Champions League is Saturday.
Right. Yeah, I may do content for the Champions League final. Maybe 1 or 2 sketches. Next week, I don't know if you know, but your guy turned 17 on Monday, so I'll let you decide whether you want to do like a podcast Monday.
Of course, man. It's your birthday. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything. You can. I'll leave it up to you. But yeah, I thought it would be cool, innit, to do one. Perhaps I don't know.
As long as you ain't going
although-
out with your girl on Thursday, on Monday, then it's calm, innit?
What?
But no.
Yeah, although I do have a maths exam on Monday, which doesn't help. So
Your birthday, jeez.
Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying.
yeah. But yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, big up, man, as always. Seb, you got any articles coming up?
Well, I still haven't published my one that I did last week when I did a brief overview of the season. So there's that still to come. There's also, I've done another one, which is also when I go back and look at the best matches, best Arsenal wins of the season. Is that I was hoping those two can go out before the Euro starts. So there's that.
Yeah. No, big up as always, man. And obviously, Dom, bro, big up yourself coming on. Obviously, I know you don't have a YouTube channel when you do football content, but man, bro, guys, I think Dom needs a channel, man. This guy speaks about Arsenal, man. He knows his stuff. But yeah, big up, Dom, man. Thanks for coming on, man, as always.
No, cheers, guys. As I say, I don't have old, but I have just given you a follow, Lee. I was looking you up. I was multitasking. You probably You probably saw everything whirring as I tried to do two things at once because, you know, unlike Rory, who's, you know, 17, I'm 40.
Oh, to be 17 again, eh?
Yeah, I know. I'm 40 in a couple of weeks, right?
You're young compared to me, my friend.
Oh, I know. Well, you know, I didn't know how old you were, but I thought, yeah, you're a few years older.
I'll get me Zimmer frame out in a minute.
You're not that old, surely.
Nah.
You can't be that old.
Vintage is what it is. It's vintage.
Vintage. Nice.
No, big up, guys. Honestly, really appreciate you taking your time out, every one of you, to obviously come on today. And yeah, content coming up, guys. Obviously, for my channel, we'll be obviously doing a few transfer news throughout the week. Obviously, Champions League final will be the big one. And then obviously we've got Euros coming up as well. So that'll be 14th of June. Looking forward to that. And obviously 14th of June as well is when the window actually opens, doesn't it? Where, you know, you can actually start making signings or selling players. So yeah, plenty of content will come on the channel, guys. Big up everyone who tuning in the chat as well. Thanks for your comments. Really do appreciate it. And we're out of it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another stream. Come on, you Gunners.
When you gonna?